Same sack again, right? Angry Birds. You guys know what Angry Birds is? Some of you. I don't even know how to. It's a computer game, and explaining it would take an awful lot of time. And but it could be a sermon in a sack, all of it in and of itself. They're birds that are mad because the pig stole their eggs. That doesn't sound like where you live. Drumsticks. There's a songwriter that I really enjoy, fabulous guitar player, even greater guitar player than he is a songwriter, a guy from England named Mark Knopfler. Some of you may have heard him, some of you may be familiar with the rock group Dire Straits. Mark was the head of that. He wrote a song back a number of years ago. It says, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. Have those days? Some days you're the drumstick. Some days you're the drum. Some days you're pounding on somebody else, whether they need it or not. Sometimes they might need it. But that's what you're doing. You're beating them up. There's other days you're on the other end of that. We ought to perhaps treat each other a little differently. The Bible tells us that other people will see and know that we are the disciples of Christ because of the amazing love we have for one another. Love that goes beyond backgrounds and experiences and gender and race and national origin and economic status, all of those things. The love of Jesus Christ breaks down all of those barriers. And when other people see us loving one another, they want to know what that's all about. They want to be part of a group like that. Because most people have enough drumsticks in their lives. They've got enough people beating on them. If they can have somebody who shows love to one another and is willing to do that to them, they want to be part of that. I think one of the real problems that we have in American churches is we've become drumsticks and drums. We've stopped showing the love of Jesus Christ. We've stopped living biblically. See, the Bible tells us if you have something, if there's somebody here who offends you, if there's somebody who does something wrong, if I offend you, you're supposed to come to me. You don't go home and get on the telephone and tell everybody else how mean and nasty the pastor is. Or go on Facebook and post something about how terrible the pastor is. That's not biblical. Biblically, you come to me and we seek reconciliation. The problem in most American churches now is we have telephones and we have Facebook and we have another church down the street. So if you get mad at this pastor, you go down there and start giving problems to that pastor. And wherever you go, whatever problems you have, you're taking them with you. When you leave one church, it isn't, oh, I'm leaving all the problems there. No, you're taking your problems with you. You might be leaving somebody else's problems there. We need to seek to live biblically. We need to consider our lives. Are you the drumstick or are you the drum? And in many cases, while I hope we are neither one, if you have to make the choice, be the drum. That's what Jesus did for us and has called us to do. He served his disciples, including Judas, even knowing what Judas was going to do. He washed Judas's feet, knowing Judas was going to betray him. Then told us to do the same thing in our lives. To serve those people, even the ones who are going to betray you, even the people who are going to kick you in the teeth. So, like I said, hopefully you don't have to be either one, but if you do, become the drum instead of the drumstick. What are we going to do now?